My name's Chris, and I live in a school bus that I've converted into a house on wheels. I've spent the last 10 years living in it and working on it, and it is my pride and joy. It's actually the school bus that I went to school in, the Keystone number 7 route bus. I bought the thing at an auction for $140. I thought I did good because one of the tires is probably worth $140. Nobody showed up at the auction. And I threw some spark plugs in and a battery, and the thing fired up, and I drove it home. Got pulled over the first time I ever drove it. The cop said I was too smoky for the road. But I got her back home, and I just started taking the seats out and didn't know what I was gonna really do with it. Little did I know that someday it'd be my home. And it works good for me and Mac. Let's go take a tour. I'll show you the bus. All aboard! Driver's cockpit. It's got a 110 spoke chrome bicycle wheel that I've attached to the steering wheel. It turns with a switch on a chicken rotisserie motor for no reason at all, but it just turns, all day long. The wheels on the bus go round and round. I've got an air valve connection on a chain. When my engine has the air pressure up to par, I can pull the chain and it blows air horns from a semi that are mounted up above on the roof. One of the main features of the ceiling of the whole bus is my LP records overlapped for a ceiling in a nice design. I've got the 1500 cassette tapes, AC/DC to ZZ Top on this wall. Just near completion. Hot glued and screwed little trinkets. Eye candy. Got a chair here. It's an old salon chair. I just had to keep the top on it. All my friends say get rid of it, but I gotta keep it. And then of course on this wall here, I call this my Flux capacitor wall. I've yet to have time travel, but I'm working on it. 1.21 gigawatts at 88 miles per hour. It's just old Nintendos, DVD players, VCRs that have gone to junk, and I've pulled them out and salvaged the chipboards off of them. So make some wallpaper out of capacitors, diodes, transistors, resistors. It just kind of gives it a technological theme here with the LP records on the roof and the cassette tapes on one wall, flux capacitor wall on the other. It's like new age and modern up front, and towards the back you'll see that we got barnwood and old rusty clevises and chains. It'll look old towards the back. So from the living room you enter the kitchen. I got dividers here. On the right I got the fridge, full-size fridge from a house, freezer. And then I've got the propane oven with a 4-burner range. Of course, I keep my dishes in the oven. Next to that, I've got the wood stove. I use that a lot. It actually runs my hot tub. This is an old bathtub here that I've hooked a fish pond pump up to, and it circulates water through a refrigerator coil that I've cut the size of the top of the wood stove, and it flows through there. Comes back over to the bathtub, turns a little water wheel, and comes in 104 degrees. And then I've got a cover that goes over the hot tub. And I've done the front of the tub in barnwood. So I took an old coffee maker apart and found these thermostat switches. Thought, what can I do with these? Well, I found the sweet spot on the stove where I could mount it. And when I light the stove and it gets up to the temperature that makes this thermostat switch click, the fan comes on. So it's automated, circulates the air in here only when this is warm enough, and it works real well. I think this winter I'm going to switch it over to a blower fan instead of the original fan that I had going, just because the blower is actually quieter and circulates the air a lot more economically. Propane oven I've got here in 4-burner range. It's an oldie, I don't know how old, I'm going to guess 60s. The top was all rusted out, so I took an old barbecue grill top and cut 2 pieces out of it to make one good top, and it works. You just lift up the top there, and I've got my sparker, lights up, and then it goes in this holder here. I can cook soup, biscuits and gravy, coffee on my percolator, and down below here you've got the oven. It just opens up and you light your pilot light right there in that hole. And when you're not using it, of course, it's dishes storage. So then the broiler drawer also has all my utensils. Of course, when I'm baking in the oven, it has to be pulled out. Just a regular RV water pump, but I've connected it to a dimmer switch from a pickup truck. So when you give it a click, it turns on. You can manually override the pressure switch. It'll pump up to pressure about 40 pounds per square inch, and it'll turn off on its own. And after a long day of hard work on the bus, a guy's got to get clean. Thank you for joining. It ain't the Holiday Inn, but it gets you clean. Sit.
Very
sit,
obedient.
Sit. Sit. Shake. 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 Shake.
Yeah, very obedient.
Try this again. Take two. Back. Sit.